Coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, I'm Terrell Thompson, and I'll tell you about a coach whose team is kicking right through competition this season.
Coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, I'm John Dodaro, and I'll tell you if you need to purchase tickets for a 2024 bowl game.
Does an athlete's endorsement change the way you vote? I'm James Daly, and I'll ask voters that question. Mountaineer Playbook starts now.
Conference championship play makes its way to Morgantown for the first time since 2018, and the Mountaineers intend to take full advantage. I'm Jackie Gunther.
And I'm Patrick Walsh. A newly opened restaurant partners with the Country Roads Trust to help fund student athletes in today's NIL landscape.
These stories and more coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, an Emmy-nominated sports magazine show produced by Sports and Adventure Media students right here at West Virginia University.
The WVU men's soccer team is coming off of their two most successful seasons in program history.
And now, Patrick, Morgantown will be host to 9 other Sunbelt schools at Dick DeLess Soccer Stadium for the conference championship.
It's the first time Morgantown has hosted soccer tournament play in 6 years.
The Mountaineers hope to win it all and secure another trip to the NCAA College Cup, just like they did in 2023. The Mountaineers finished the 2024 regular season with a record of 10, 1, and 6. That regular season success is one of the main reasons why WVU was chosen as the conference championship site. And WVU athletic officials are thrilled with the spotlight Morgantown is receiving.
For us as an athletic department for our men's soccer program, the best news is this is an opportunity that you earn. It's not like you just put in a bid and guaranteed the most money. You have to go out on the field and earn either the 1 seed or the 2 seeds.
Don't discredit home field advantage either. In the past, teams such as Kentucky and Marshall both won the trophy when they hosted the tournament. And soon, it could be WVU's turn. This is the first conference finals WVU is hosting since the 2018 MAC championship, which they were victorious in.
With all of the success the men's soccer team has had in the last few years, one man has been a key component of their climb to the top.
Dan Strafford returned to his alma mater to leave Mountaineers following a 3-year coaching stint at the University of Charleston.
Strafford is no stranger to the postseason, having helped the Mountaineers to 3 NCAA tournament appearances and winning the Big East regular season in 2006 as a player, before finally reaching the College Cup Final Four as a coach last year.
Terrell Thompson joins us live in the studio to tell us more about Strafford and his postseason motivation in his segment, Coach's Corner. Terrell?
Thanks, Jackie, Patrick. Dan Strafford is the 2024 Sun Belt Conference Coach of the Year. It's his first time receiving the honor, and in just 4 seasons at the helm of WVU men's soccer. It hasn't taken him long to elevate the program to one of the top in the nation. Strafford joins just 2 other WVU men's soccer coaches to receive conference coaching titles. He's also previously been named the top Georgia Soccer National Coach of the Year in 2023. This season, Strafford's Mountaineers had a 5-0 and 4 mark in conference play and clinched their first ever Sun Belt Conference regular season title. Strafford said after his final regular season conference win, he was excited to have the #1 seed heading to the conference championship right here in Morgantown.
I think that's a huge advantage, and then again the familiarity with the field, with the stadium, knowing that you have the energy from your own fans is making a huge difference in this stretch of the season.
WVU took on Georgia Southern in the first round of conference championship play Sunday, winning 3-2 and moving on to the semifinals. And as the men's squad continues its run in the postseason, we want to know one more award. Forward and midfielder Sergio Ores Navarro was named Sun Belt Player and Offensive Player of the Year and earned a spot on the All-Conference first team.
Thanks, Terrell. WVU football is also hoping to get some postseason play this year. Their win over North Carolina in last year's Duke's Mayo Bowl marked the 40th in program history. With their Big 12 championship title hopes dwindling this season, a bowl game is the most realistic projection for Neil Brown's crew. Reporter John Dodaro breaks down what the Mountaineers need to do in their remaining schedule to secure a bowl game appearance.
The 2024 season for the Mountaineers has been a season of ups and downs, with losses to ranked opponents such as Iowa State and Kansas State. West Virginia's chances of a Big 12 championship are slim, but with the remaining games left, the Mountaineers can still qualify for a second straight bowl game.
You know, I try not to look ahead a lot, but all four teams are kind of similar, you know, all similar records. And so a lot to play for in November.
West Virginia's climb for a bowl game begins with Cincinnati, then 2 home games against Baylor and UCF, and finally against Texas Tech.
Redshirt sophomore quarterback Nico Markiel may be a key player for the Mountaineers in their upcoming stretch. Starting quarterback Garrett Green suffered an upper body injury against Kansas State. If Green is forced to miss more time, Markiel would be slated to take over the climb.
It's something we talk about all the time, you know, injuries happen, and it's next play mentality, next guy mentality. When you get thrown in, you're expected to do just as good or better than whoever was previously in front of you.
To qualify for a bowl game, West Virginia needs to win at least 6 games. With 2 home games in the upcoming weeks, the Mountaineers can look to accomplish their goal in Morgantown. Reporting for Mountaineer Playbook, I'm John Dodera.
The Mountaineers have a 17-23 all-time bowl game record. Since taking over the helm, head coach Neil Brown is 2-1 in postseason action.
It's no secret that today's college athletics landscape is vastly different than 10 or even just 5 years ago. With the introduction of name, image, and likeness deals, better known as NIL, college athletes are finally cashing in on their personas being used to sell tickets and merchandise, much like professional athletes. At WVU, the Country Roads Trust was established to guide student athletes through the negotiations of these deals and for donors to give directly to those students. It was established in 2022 and since has released products such as lager, bourbon, and this summer opened the Goat Pub in Suncrest Town Center. Officials with the trust say the products have been a success so far.
The Trust Lager is something that people want in the tailgate lots and on game days, and the Trust Bourbon has been an incredible partnership for us. So, you know, we know our fan base likes these type of things, and now they have an opportunity to buy premium products and support the NIL at the same time.
The Goat Pub is one of the first NIL bars in the country.
Jackie, studies for decades have shown that participating in sports or some type of physical activity as an adult can improve both our physical and mental health.
That's true, Patrick, and newer studies are showing they also improve social outcomes for adults and kids alike, providing opportunities to build community and create a sense of belonging.
But our sports, culture, and economics reporter James Daly joins us live in the studio to discuss another impact sports are having on our lives, particularly in an election year. James?
Thanks, Patrick. Jackie, athletes have been endorsing candidates for decades, like baseball greats Babe Ruth and Jackie Robinson, who both backed presidential candidates in their time. But when an athlete publicly puts their weight behind a candidate, how much does it influence who the average American votes for? I took the question to political experts and voters alike.
It's the reality of social media today for athletes and celebrities alike. Endorse a political candidate and face backlash. But in the 2024 election, some big names put their weight behind both presidential candidates. NFL star Brett Favre took the stage for President-elect Donald Trump in Green Bay. And LeBron James and Steph Curry made headlines when they backed Vice President Kamala Harris. Dr. Scott Tritchlow, a political science professor at WVU, says endorsements can have an impact.
People usually are already kind of set in terms of partisanship versus, say, endorsements in a primary. But at the same time, if you're hearing from somebody you really respect, someone who you think shares your values, at least on the margins, it could have an effect.
A study from Harvard's Kennedy School says athletes and celebrity endorsements also encourage voter participation and are good for democracy, even increasing voter registration.
While she's not an athlete, Taylor Swift's connection to the NFL this year is unavoidable. And in the 24 hours after Swift endorsed Harris on social media, more than 400,000 people visited vote.org,
a website that helps Americans register to vote.
The it factor could make a difference for young voters. According to Tufts University, about 55% of voters ages 18 to 29 participated in the 2020 presidential election, when stars like Mia Hamm, Shaq, and A-Rod endorsed a candidate.
I think they definitely have a huge impact, especially because they're reaching out to more of the younger audience, especially with bringing out the celebrities that they have.
Harvard's study also found athletes and celebrities could help increase young voters' trust in political leaders and institutions.
In some states, the sports teams themselves took a more active role in endorsing political issues this year. Voters in Missouri considered whether to legalize sports betting in that state, which was largely supported by the pro teams in St. Louis and Kansas City. The bill narrowly passed, making Missouri the 39th state to legalize sports gambling.
Thanks, James. After the break on Mountaineer Playbook, we lace up our skates and hit the ice to talk with a player turned coach in the WVU hockey program.
Those stories and more after the break. Don't go anywhere.
After the break on Mountaineer Playbook, I'm Brian McClellan, and I'll tell you about a player who's trying to cement his legacy alongside Mountaineer legends like him.
Coming up next on Mountaineer Playbook, I'm Patrick Walsh, and I'll tell you about a Morgantown native who's looking to bring the boom this season.
It has been said the sun might not always shine on West Virginia, but the people always do. And to truly appreciate our beauty, you have to look deeper at our passion, our purpose, at the fabric of who we are.
Because it's always a great day to be a Mountaineer. Wherever you may be. Let's go!
Welcome back to Mountaineer Playbook. Throughout its storied history, the WVU men's basketball program has had some seriously impressive names appear on its roster. The late Jerry West is, of course, one of the most notable, Jackie. He's better known as the logo, the symbol of the NBA.
But with the 2024 season already underway, a new name might join the likes of West and other Mountaineer greats in the record books. Our men's basketball reporter, Brian McQuillan, joins us live in the studio to tell us more. Brian?
Thanks, Jackie. Patrick, when fans saw that Tucker DeVries followed his dad, new head coach Darren DeVries, to WVU from Drake University, they may have underestimated the type of player coming to Morgantown. But Tucker made multiple preseason watch lists and is starting to gather even more WVU records since the start of regular season play, giving Mountaineer fans a reason to tune in. The WVU men's basketball team has not had these many changes to its roster since the 1944 season. Forward Tucker DeVries will look to lead the Mountaineers in his first season with the team.
It doesn't take you long to see that he can really play the game of basketball. He's fun to watch. I think he's a player that we haven't had at West Virginia style-wise in a long time.
Prior to his arrival in Morgantown, DeVries won back-to-back NBC Player of the Year awards. He finished as the only Division I men's basketball player to average at least 20 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1.5 steals per game last season. If DeVries repeats last season's success, he'll join an elite group of Mountaineers. Only 6 other players have averaged at least 20 points per game in a season. They include the likes of Jerry West, Hot Rod Hundley, and Rod Thorne. This season will not be the first time DeVries has led a completely revamped roster.
Last year at Drake, it was very similar. We had 10 new guys, 3 new starters coming. So it just takes a little bit of time, but you know, I think we've done a great job of learning each other and getting to know each other on and off the court.
He is expected to be the focal point of the team's offense, as he is one of 5 players to score at least 1,800 points since the 2021-22 season.
Right, he's a preseason pick. He is considered on the short list for one of the top forwards in the country, and so every single scouting report by the opposition will say, Tucker DeVries, that's the guy we have to stop.
Having his father, head coach Darren DeVries, next to him on the sidelines can be used to his advantage.
Let's face it, being the son of a coach, those kids normally just have a better understanding and a feel for the game. And in watching him last season and in watching him in practice so far, he literally is a coach on the floor.
After leading Drake to 2 straight NCAA tournament appearances, the Vrees will try to help the Mountaineers return to March Madness for the first time since 2022.
DeVries started collecting his career accolades in high school when he was named the 2020-2021 Gatorade Iowa Boys Basketball Player of the Year.
During the 2023-24 season, more than 550,000 athletes were members of USA Hockey.
But only about 1,000 of those players live in West Virginia. And while that may seem like a small group, hockey has made a lasting impact on many members of the Morgantown community.
Especially WVU Division II hockey player Dylan Young. I caught up with Young, a Morgantown native who decided to stay true to his roots and don the blue and gold on the ice.
Dylan Young lives and breathes hockey. At the age of 3, Young remembers seeing a flyer about learning to play hockey and credits his dad for getting him into the sport.
Dad brought me down to the rink. We got here, sized me up for all the gear and all that, went out, played. It was downhill ever since then.
Young attended WVU hockey games as well as Pittsburgh Penguin games as a child. He started climbing up the ranks of junior hockey for the Pittsburgh Predators. Young logged 13 points as a defenseman during his senior campaign at Morgantown High School. After high school, Young returned to the Predators and was a member of the AAA team, the highest level of youth hockey in the United States before WVU came calling.
Young spent part of his youth hockey career on this very ice. But now, he's wearing the gold and blue and lacing up his skates for WVU.
Adam Brown is in his 7th year on the Mountaineers coaching staff. He was promoted to head coach of the Division II team last season, so while he wasn't the first to find Young, he made it a priority to keep him on the team's radar.
I'm glad that we could build something, such a successful program that, like I said, it gives guys a chance to come home because they had to escape once upon a time.
Although he stayed home for college, things have not always been easy for Young. Growing up, he moved away to Ohio for a year and was diagnosed with anxiety, nearly making him quit hockey for good.
Got on some medicine to try to help cope with all that. Went back up for like a couple weeks, still couldn't do it. Ended up having to quit the team and moving back home.
Young eventually recovered by coming back home and fell in love again with the sport he grew up with.
Ice hockey is slowly growing as a sport in West Virginia. Participation has grown by 3% over the last year, according to USA Hockey. Construction for the new ice rink at Milan Park is underway and set to open in the fall of 2025, which city officials say, Jackie, could increase participation even more.
Even though hockey might not be as popular in Morgantown as sports like football or soccer right now, Patrick, it does have a long history here. WVU was one of the original members of the American Collegiate Hockey Association when it was formed in 1991.
The university has been a member of the ACHA for more than 30 years, Jackie, but for much of that time as a men's program only. That is, until 2019.
The women's hockey program formed just 5 years ago, and in that time, one woman has moved up from the bench to coach, and Cam Scott takes us to the rink to tell us her story.
Sam Miller came to Morgantown before the WVU women's hockey team even existed. Since that sport wasn't an option, Miller had no choice but to go a different route.
I was a sophomore on campus, and I was originally playing rugby because we didn't have a hockey team, and I still wanted to be active and involved.
Her stint as a rugby player didn't last long, though. The following year, a women's hockey team was created, and Miller found out through social media that they were holding tryouts.
Miller joined WVU's women's hockey team in their inaugural season. After graduation, she traded in her stick for a whistle and joined the team's coaching staff.
When the team was first established in 2019, they didn't have most of the amenities they have now. They originally had to use old equipment from the men's hockey team and had to provide their own transportation to away games.
I believe it was our men's team's old practice socks as well. And then we were driving our own cars rather than getting vans, that sort of stuff.
Miller served as an assistant coach for 2 seasons before earning the head coaching job. Her first year at the helm was a bit of an adjustment as she was coaching players that were her teammates just a few years ago. Still, Miller's experience on the ice proves to be a positive for the team regardless of her age.
In the past, I've had like older coaches only, and I think she's really understanding of a lot of stuff, and she makes it fun for us, but she still wants to get the job done.
WVU women's hockey is a Division II club-level team that plays in the College Hockey East Division. They have reached the playoffs in 5 of their first 6 seasons. After missing out in 2023, Miller looks to lead them back to the postseason for the first time as the head coach. For Mountaineer Playbook, I'm Cam Scott.
Coming up next on Mountaineer Playbook, we take a visit to the Esports practice facility to see how gaming is setting them up for success in a new workforce.
Plus, it's buck season across Appalachia. We take you to a competition testing the accuracy of some rifle hunters before they take to the woods.
We'll be right back.
After the break, esports isn't just a varsity sport at WVU. I'm Harley Cochran, and I'll tell you about how the new esports major is setting students up for success.
After the break, I'm Andrew Freed, and I'll tell you how this big buck is in danger and how you can earn points for shooting it.
It has been said the sun might not always shine on West Virginia, but the people always do. And to truly appreciate our beauty, you have to look deeper at our passion, our purpose, at the fabric of who we are.
Because it's always a great day to be a Mountaineer. Wherever you may be, let's go!
Welcome back to Mountaineer Playbook. In a survey of Gen Z, people born between 1995 and 2008, 88% reported they play video games, while 68% reported they watch video game-related content, such as streamers or game creators.
Another report from the University of Michigan found almost 38% of esports fans are between the ages of 16 and 24. As they begin to work and make money, those fans are going to drive the esports industry.
Reporter Harley Cochran took a closer look at the booming esports management major here at WVU and how it's preparing students for various roles in a billion-dollar industry.
WVU's Esports Bachelor's program was introduced in the fall of 2023 amid the university's program cuts announcements. While many students saw their time at West Virginia ending, Brandon Weaver saw the program as an opportunity to go back to school.
I wasn't very good academically whenever I first went, so I think something that I'm passionate about later on helps me stay motivated during class and give me a career in that field when I finish college.
The global esports market value is over $1.88 billion, with an estimated 27% increase over the next 6 years. Programs like WVU's are helping students get into that industry after they graduate. They could be esports marketers, business managers, or even broadcasters, standing in front of the camera at matches like this one.
WVU is one of the first major Power 4 R1 institutions to make such a leap into esports. The resources of an institution like WVU give the major greater chances to impact students.
I mean, they're able to compete in an environment with highly skilled players and then bring that experience to the classroom and discuss what they're personally going through, but then what their peers are experiencing.
After graduation, Weaver hopes to work in marketing or business management, and the program is helping him prepare. For Mountaineer Playbook, I'm Harley Cochran.
While the WVU Esports varsity team is different than the esports academic major, the team has a lot to brag about. The Mountaineers have won 3 national championships in just the 2023-24 season. The team launched in 2021.
Well, Patrick, it's hunting season in many parts of the country, and in Appalachian states like West Virginia and Pennsylvania, deer hunting is both a family tradition for many people and an economic driver.
That's right, Jackie. Across the U.S., nearly 16 million Americans had a hunting license in 2023. In West Virginia, that number is about 250,000, ranking at number 7 in the country for per capita license holders, and bringing in more than $9 million in revenue last year.
Adventure reporter Andrew Freed took a trip to Pennsylvania for a competition among some hunters ahead of the official start of this year's rifle season. He joins us from Studio B at the Media Innovation Center with his segment, Finding Adventure. Andrew?
Thanks, Jackie. Patrick, the rifle deer hunting season hasn't started in Pennsylvania just yet. That comes at the end of November. But in eager anticipation, this town in southwestern PA holds a friendly competition to find the best rifle shooter in 4 typical deer hunting positions: prone, hay bale, sitting, and standing. And as I saw firsthand, the competition was pretty fierce. About 40 minutes up I-79 from Morgantown, the Mariana Field & Stream Sporting Deer Rifle Shoot takes place once a year. 16-year-old Gunnar Wass says it's not his first time shooting a rifle, but it was his first time participating in the competition.
Just the people here. It's always nice. Everyone's a good sport. Even though you're competing against each other, they'll help you out if you need it. They'll give you tips and pointers, just whatever you need.
For 12 years now, the community has set aside their responsibilities for a day to have fun at this friendly competition. Participants shoot at these targets, aiming for the small zone worth 10 points, followed by the larger zones worth 9 and 8 points, and everywhere else on the deer is 5 points. Scores are collected after each round and tallied up for a total at the end of the day, and the organizers say participation is only growing.
It's grown a little bit every year. I mean, I think last year we had 52, 54 shooters. We're probably looking for that many this year.
Participants ranged in age from as young as 11 up to their 50s and 60s. During the 2023 deer season, nearly 24,000 deer were harvested in the area around Mariana where the competition took place. It landed on top in state rankings for the number of antlered deer harvested per square mile. Jackie, Patrick, back to you at the Waterfront Studio.
Thanks, Andrew. Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Mountaineer Playbook, an Emmy-nominated sports magazine show where we dive into inspiring stories of coaches, players, and passionate fans who make the sports world truly remarkable. I'm Jackie Gunther.
And I'm Patrick Walsh. Be sure to like and follow us on Facebook at Mountaineer Playbook. You can also stream our shows on HD Media's websites and watch our broadcasts on Sunday evenings at 6:30 on West Virginia Public Broadcasting.
Thank you for watching, and don't miss the chance to celebrate the heart and soul of the game with us next time on Mountaineer Playbook.